Hi everyone, my name is Jack Ananchenko. I'm the CTO and the co-founder at StellarSoft. Today, I'm pleased to join Amadeusz Bathelt, head of product and consulting at Dealavo. Dealavo helps e-commerce companies monitor competitor pricing, optimize margin, and implement dynamic pricing strategy using machine learning and large-scale market data. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest hidden problems in e-commerce, which is the pricing strategy, and why many companies try to automate processes they don't fully understand. Amadeusz, welcome to the show.
Thank you for your invitation. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Um, Amadeusz, to start easy, let's talk a little bit more about you and your background. You start your career in marketing before moving into product and pricing strategy. What drew you into this field?
So, in fact, if we go in before, I needed to do quite a lot of other things when I was a student. Like probably majority of us in US, you go to McDonald's, and I was doing other things. Like I was a lifeguard at the swimming pool. I was an interpreter for U.S. Army, uh, and then after all weird things, I was also working for Procter and Gamble for many years
Mhm,
as
mhm,
engineer, as product manager, as manager. And then I decided that it's enough for me, and I prefer to go to IT because I believe that e-commerce and IT this is the future. But it's not so easy to get to the product directly, and I didn't know about this back then. Now I know that it's not like this, that you are getting to be the product manager. But I had some hints, and I decided, okay, let's start with marketing and
mhm.
move through the company where I want to be.
Okay, cool. What, from your perspective, why is pricing such a misunderstood discipline in e-commerce?
I think it's some historical thing, because before, when you had a store, people were coming to you, and your pricing strategy was that you were buying for X, like 5
Hmm.
euro. You were adding your margin like to up to 7 euro at the end, and people were coming and buying. Like they needed to buy, I don't know, like bread. They were coming and buying. They were not comparing the prices between other stores, because going to another store was really time consuming, and you were shipping, buying in your local store. And now the environment changed drastically. When you have e-commerce, you compare the prices for all the stores that are offering the price online. So still, a lot of companies are having brick and mortar, local store, and online
Hmm.
store, and they are really successful with the traditional store, and they think that if they are successful there and they do the same online, they will still succeed. But this is not true. This is not true. You have to adjust your pricing strategy, and it takes a lot
Hmm.
of analytics, and people hate analysis. Like
Hmm.
I,
Most of the time.
yeah. Before this, before we went live, I said that I do quite a lot of podcasts. I do also some speeches trainings, and during the trainings live, I really love to ask the audience, how many of you have Google Analytics? And
Hmm.
like the whole audience has hands up. But then please keep their hands up only those people who made analysis during the last 30 days, and like two hands out of 100 are there, because people hate making analysis. They understand that they need to have something that will gather the data, but then to make something with this, no, it's a waste of time. What I hear from people, I have to pack my packages, my orders. This is what brings the profit, and I understand it needs to be done. But you are e-commerce
Hmm.
manager, you are more qualified than the guy who has to pack the packages. You are being paid more, so you need to make this data analysis. And
Hmm.
once again, when we compare the traditional store and the now e-commerce, you didn't have to do this analysis in the traditional store. As I said, cost plus. You're buying something, adding your margin, done. But here we have the traffic, Google Ads, we have prices of your competitors. You have to take this everything under consideration and put the proper prices in your store, and you even have to understand how your e-store is working, and all it's is it Presta, it's WooCommerce, but it's really really confusing.
Hmm. For sure. And in the majority of the cases, I mean, I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of different e-commerce stores, but then most of the time when they talk about growth, they never ever outline pricing as a separate specific milestone and like part of the strategy for their growth. Why do you think this is often ignored?
Maybe because it's complex, but on the other hand, this is great leverage for the store, because okay, the prices are high because your costs are high, the cost price is high, but then if you increase your margin by 2% points with all your revenue, this is like millions. Yes, this is really great
Hmm.
to improve your business. So it's not about um, improving some store. Yes, it's like easy things sometimes are not bringing so much profit than this deep dive analysis, understanding of your all your costs, and applying a better pricing strategy. So what I see during among our clients is that a lot of them are coming to us setting the price automation. Of course, you have to provide your own strategy, and the strategy is really often I want to be the cheapest on all the products. Will it work? Somehow it will. It will bring you traffic, it will bring you clients, but it will not bring you a profit, so much profit. Maybe even you will be at this very, very close to being profitable. And you
Hmm.
need a good strategy to know with which products you should be the cheapest one to bring your traffic, but on which products are complementary and where you should increase your price and bring the whole profit.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Most companies don't have a traffic problem, but they have a shopping cart problem. I love this quote that you've recently posted on LinkedIn. Can you elaborate on that just for the audience, just to understand which perspective you're taking while saying that?
So, as a product manager, head of product, I have to talk to a lot of clients, and I know their pain points, but also I talk as a head of consulting with other ones, and I see with which problems people are coming, and they're not coming with problem with the shopping cart. It's too complex. It's too far away for them. So majority of shops don't have good cross sell strategy. Only the biggest one have it properly done. Uh,
Hmm.
if some shops have, so I would divide them on three parts. First, stores that even doesn't have technology to offer some cross-sell complementary product. So you go to the product page, you see only the main product, you add it to the cart, you buy it. You are not even asked if you want to buy something more. And of
Hmm.
course, buying something more adds your company money, yeah, if you are selling something more. Other second group is people, shops who have this in place, this mechanism to offer some other products, but they don't do the good selection of the products. So you buy a drill and they offer five other drills. And it's like,
Hmm.
are you really buying five drills when you are making shopping? Like, come on, guy, like, not really. And then they try, and it's not attack from my side, it's like discussion. And they say like,
Hmm.
but they can choose from different drills. Okay, but here you have product page of the product for 200 euro, and at the
Hmm.
bottom you are showing something for 100 with great discount. So you really want your clients to go from this 200 to buy something cheaper? This is your
Hmm.
goal? Like, no, of course not. Yeah, so maybe offer drill, bits, case for the drill, charger, all those things that people need to buy. And even yesterday, I was leading a webinar when there was really one brave company who said, you can do live audit on my website, because I offered this during the webinars. Like, you can send me your link and live I will do the audit and say what is working or not. And in fact, it was the drill. And I said, like, I have no idea if this product is sold with a battery or not. And if it's without the battery, and I will buy it and I will get it, I will be really, really pissed off, because I won't be able to use it, because I don't have those batteries at home, like nobody has. And
Yeah,
if it
and
doesn't,
you never know where to go to buy
yeah,
them, right?
and if I would have to order once again and wait 1 week, yeah, maybe 3 days, I don't know. But I mean, if it's without the battery, then say it's without the battery and create some set with a battery or complementary product. Tell them 3 times you need a battery for this. Are you sure that you don't need battery? Because it's being straightforward, it's being clean and fair to the client. He doesn't feel cheated, and there's opportunity for you for the upsell. And maybe the drill will have an attractive price on the market and low margin, but the battery, like, will you look at the price of the batteries after you have this drill in the basket? Not really. The price has to be reasonable. So if you convince somebody to add a second product with reasonable price and good margin to the basket, your company is earning more. But this requires analysis. What should be cross sell for this product? What are the complementary products? Maybe you can do some upsell for higher, better drill, more expensive. But this is not something that you have the data for. You need to dig into things and give the recommendations to your website. People are not doing this.
Do you think this is the main reason why most of the stores end up with single product orders?
Yes, I think so. Because people, recently I was reading some studies about how people are buying now, and like they watch Stranger Things and they do the shopping with the phones. Like 70-75% of shoppings are made by, depends on the category, but are made through the mobile phones, because they are doing other things. So they don't have capacity to think what more I need to do. And if they buy, like if you buy TV from, let's say in Germany, from MediaMarkt, and you forget about the hanger for the TV, you will buy it on
Hmm.
Amazon, because you're like, I will buy whatever, yes. And
Hmm.
yeah, one product shopping cart. This is it.
Yeah, of course. And one of the issues that you mentioned recently was is that stock inventory that basically ties up cash. How common is that problem?
I think 100% common dead stock. Yes, like everybody has some dead stock, but it depends on the level. And maybe one more thing, because we are talking about really good things around the pricing, but why it is happening? Why people don't have? Why they are not doing anything with this? Because they are uh, really involved in making good prices manually in Excel. So even really good people, they don't have automations, they don't have systems. They shops Owners of the shops want to sell more, so they add more and more portfolio, 20K, 35K, 50K, and this poor guy who was employed as e-commerce manager, as a strategist, he needs to play with his Excel and try to have good prices with cost prices coming from one side, price endings from the other side, information about the market if they have it from the third side, but if they don't have it, then this guy has to go to the websites of the competitors and find the product to have a proper price. So they are like Excel engineers that are doing things, and it's really hard to do something more after this. You don't have mental capacity, so you don't have this cross sell, and you have dead stock because you cannot analyze your sales. And exactly as you asked, coming back to your question, uh, everybody has dead stock, but it depends what percentage of your portfolio is a dead stock and for how long. Because if it's like 90% that didn't move for 3 months,
Hmm.
it's troubling. But if it's 90% that didn't move for 12 months and you have huge stocks and things are expensive, you don't have drop shipping, then it is really bad because first of all, you have hidden potential traffic that you could have from this product, but second is that your assets, your money is frozen. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have 90% of your portfolio and for every product you have on average 100 things, yes, items, and everything is 1k euro, then you can imagine how much money is frozen, and it's not gaining its value. It's losing its
Mm-hmm.
value because if you buy tires, it's expiring. Cosmetics even faster, electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently there was something about a guy in uh, Middle East, something like this, that he got finally after 10 years his order for cell phones. And he was like, yeah, what I'm doing with this, yes, it's like 10-year-old cell phone. Like it can go
Okay.
to the museum. And this it's quite similar now, yes. If it's dead stock and it's in your inventory, then of course you have to consider that you're wasting your money, you're losing money. Maybe if you put it in a bank, you would have greater income out of this, some interest. And also those poor guys on the in the warehouse. You have 90% of dead stock. You have to travel a lot among your warehouse to find the proper thing that is being sold. More and more steps that you have to do. So of course you should do something about the dead stock, and there are two outcomes. I would say one is that you had too high price, and now you found a sweet spot that this product is being
Mm-hmm.
sold, and you have good
Mm-hmm.
margin, so you can start rotating it. But
Mm-hmm.
other solution, other outcome can be that you will lose some money by selling it because your sales team did bad job buying. They bought it for too expensive price, and let's say
Mm-hmm.
that out of 100 people who are selling it on internet, Amazon, or whatever, 23 are selling below your cost price. So you bought it for 100 and 23 people are selling below this price. So it's impossible for you to earn money, to sell it with some earnings. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have to ask yourself a question: is it better to sell it for with 10% loss, set in SAP? I don't want to restock, but get rid of this product, because if you don't get rid now, you will have to sell it in 1 year with minus 20%, or maybe even worse, you will
Even
not
more.
never sell it, but you have to get rid of this and pay for destroying of those goods. And this is, you are not even not earning, but you're even adding money to destroy things, utilize them.
Uh,
So
Yeah, absolutely. And like for the companies that will listen to this podcast, do you have any recommendations about how to reactivate slow-moving inventory without damaging their brand perception?
uh, yeah, so there can be a few things about this. Yeah, if so, I would generally, so my I believe strongly in automation, that you as a e-commerce manager, head of marketing, whatever, you are responsible for the strategy, to analyzing data, making decisions, corrections, and then changes the automation. So this is why we have this price monitoring, automated checking of the prices of competitors, and we have dynamic pricing, that you set the rules and it's being automated. Yeah, the prices are being automated. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you should have different pricing strategies for your traffic builders that are bringing traffic, different strategy for complementary products, other for long tails like nice to haves. If you buy TV, this is traffic builder. If you buy to the TV a hanger, this is added product. And at the end, like if you go to Media Markt, you will have light bulbs, batteries. Those are those nice to have that you will be adding to the basket. But also you
Mm-hmm.
can set some strategy for an automated strategy for the dead stock. So
Mm-hmm.
with one company, we really like to call them zombies, and the strategy is called zombie resuscitation, because it's automatically analyzing if you have dead stock. So
Mm-hmm.
there are different strategies depending on the time that you have this dead stock zone, as long as it's zombie. So let's say that the product is not being sold for 3 months. So then we automatically know this. We put it in some strategy for the zombie. In the zombie campaign, the zombie strategy, you have minimum margin that you don't want to go below it. And
Hmm.
let's say that its strategy is to be the cheapest on the market. And now this first cycle starts and it depends on the traffic and so on, but let's say for the next 1 month, we'll be trying to have the minimum price. If it's not being sold for the minimum price, then maybe you should go to another rule that you are selling with some loss of the profit. But we also have another rule for the same products that if it starts being sold, let's say 5 pieces, you increase the price a bit. And then another rule that if you sell more than 10 pieces, it increases the price even more. So you have, let's say, 5 rules in repricing, and products are just jumping in between to find the sweet spot. And at the end of this verification cycle, you will know this product is being sold with minimum margin 10%. Kill it. This with 15 and it's being sold. Keep it. Yeah, just restock it and set its price for this level. It's still profitable. It's bringing new traffic. And if you don't want to make some discounts, if you cannot sell with the minimum price, if there is no demand, you can do other things. The more complex, of course, like create sets, add this product to a set with some traffic builder, do some attractive campaign with this. So you don't make the discount for attractive product traffic builder, but you say, oh, you have some free gift, yes? Like, or if you have free shipping out of 25 euro, that's fine. But if you look at the charts, you will see that majority of people are just crossing this 25 level. There is a gap below, but people are not buying more. So you can try to push them more to say, if you buy for over 50 euro, you will have free gift, this cream, this something, yes, that you can even choose from 3 different things and different levels. So you are not selling this product directly, but you are increasing your basket, increasing your sales, and you don't have to get rid, you don't have to pay some money to get rid of this product, and this is also a profit. Also, you can have some newsletter and send some discount codes to your subscribers that only limited group of people will get free discount for this product. So nobody will see except them, but they will understand that this is some discount. It's not hitting your store. People don't think that you are some discount store, but they are seeing it as an opportunity. So of course there are many strategies that you can have for this, but you need time to think about this, yes, to put it in place and to execute. So to execute this manually will be really time consuming, but putting automation and just verifying the results, I think this is achievable.
Okay, interesting. And I have a few questions about pricing automation, but we may be able to uncover them by touching on the other very important topic, which is data and how you collect data and how you compile it with the strategy. So your company Dealavo collects massive amount of data, pricing data from the internet. But how do companies actually turn that data into the pricing strategy and decisions?
So this is the question that I ask myself from the beginning in Dealavo. Why they need data and what they do with this? And I think this is the main question in my role. What they should do. So one is what they do, and second is what they should do to earn on this. Because to be completely honest, if they just buy data and they don't do anything with this, we will have churn. Like, it's obvious because they will not see profit. Of course, Google Analytics is free, so if you are not spending money, then you can think, if I need it because my rating of the website is a bit worse because of the speed, but here you're paying with money for this. So what do you do? If you are a big company, probably you have some processes, some programs in place. So you have big dynamic pricing engine made by the company. You have BI, you have processes, pricing team, everything in place. But if you are even middle one or SMB, then you need to do something more. And if you believe that having only data will make your shop better, then yeah, you are wrong. You have to do something about this. So
Mm-hmm.
what we recommend is to start making this analysis of your portfolio, deciding which product is a traffic builder that brings you traffic, which is added complementary product, and which is long tail. And of course it can take quite a lot of time with all your portfolio, but even if you choose this 100 the most popular products, you will know which products are bringing you the traffic and the revenue. And then,
Mm-hmm.
as I described before, you can assign those products to the different strategies. And even with this, you will be one step ahead of your competitors. What is
Mm-hmm.
interesting that when I talk to some companies, they say, "But I do this better by hand." I said prices better by hand, but that's fine. I believe in this. Yes, if for 25, 100 products you do this better, when you have the price monitoring, of course, because with no data it will be
Mm-hmm.
not better. But you have in your portfolio 50K products, so are you really managing everything by hand better than the automation? And they're like, no, I don't do anything for the rest of the products. So that's great. Keep the good job on this 25, 50, 100 products, whatever you can manage. And with the long tail, try the strategies. Like as we said with long tail, do the automation for the long tail. Like, what can happen? Nothing wrong can happen if you put automation there because you have no sales, no revenue. So if you decrease the margin by 5% points on your debt stock, you are not
Mm-hmm.
decreasing your earnings because you are not selling anything. Yeah? You can just start selling something. And if you have those limits of margin, then you are really safe and you can set it in Dealavo. Yes, like minimum, don't go below 10% margin. Try to get as low as possible on the market. But of course, if your competitors are increasing the prices, you or we will decrease it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing that you can do with our data is to use them in our repricing to make your strategy available for you, because before it was not available to do this in Excel. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I really recommend to our clients, and in fact, just before this meeting here, I had another meeting with a company that was asking me how to use this data for Google Ads. And this is really something interesting because uh, pricing is a potential. Yeah, you can say that if you improve your pricing, your revenue, your margin will go 3 times more, margin 2% points. That's fine, but this is some predictions. But with Google Ads, it's something totally different because you have already huge budgets for Google Ads. And like,
Mm-hmm.
for people who don't know, it's like 25k euro per month is not something unusual, yeah, and you are
Mm-hmm.
wasting. And there is some saying in marketing that you are wasting half of your budget, you don't know which half. And the same is with
Mm-hmm.
promoting products. And when we apply data and some strategy for this, you are gaining more. So your ROAS in Google Ads is rising 2 times, maybe more. And why is that? First of all, people are promoting wrong products. So when I talk to the clients, uh, I learned that they promote everything equally. They do PMAX, maybe brands, maybe categories, promote everything. But not all the products are traffic builders. So maybe you shouldn't promote long tail or nice to have products or complementary products, just the traffic builder. So if you buy shoes, they will offer you a spray for shoes and shoelaces. So should you really promote, spend money on shoelaces and sprays? Like nobody are buying it separately, or the traffic is not big enough to promote. But shoes, yeah. So if you spend all this money that you were spending on all those three products only on shoes, you will have traffic for shoes, and then you can cross-sell other products that you would be promoting. So you are spending less money, or you are moving this budget from those products to shoes. And the other thing is that now with pricing than the strategy, should you promote? Let's say that you have Air Force One silver or something, and five different shops have it, and you sell for 100, and your competitor sells for 75. Should you promote it? Like nobody is crazy. They will buy for 75 then, not for
Yeah,
100
for sure.
because. But
All the time.
yeah, but how they are doing this? They see the ads. Even I do this. I open all those five ads in different tabs. I'm comparing what they have, and I will go with the cheapest offer. But what you pay for the click, not for the action of selling the product. So what I suggest having the data, pricing data, is to promote products that their price difference between the lowest offer on the market is some particular percent. It depends on the category and so on, but let's say 10% difference. If your product is more expensive than 10% from the cheapest one, abandon. Don't promote it. And another thing is that really often marketing agencies don't have information about your margins. And ROAS, Google Ads, are quite costly. So if you have ROAS 5, like usually people have something like this, you pay 20% of what you earn in ads. So if you have margin, let's make it easier, like 20%, 20% of this is coming, so 100% of your margin is going for ads. So it's not good to promote products that have margin below 18% if you have ROAS 5. But now it's even hard for me to describe it properly with words in easy words, yes? And if somebody doesn't like analysis, as we said in the beginning, making this, putting it in place, it's really hard when you have data from your store, you have different cost prices, you have to put everything in place. So once again, I believe in automation, that you have some maybe Excel file that you put price monitoring data there, and we already recalculate for your margins the minimum price to the lowest guy, and you can have some easy formulas. If the price in this column is the percentage is lower than 10, yes, so 1, yeah. If the margin is higher than 40, yes. If in both columns is 1, then promote, yes, and you can send it directly to Google Merchant Center. Of course, we have a tool for this dedicated, but if you want to do this in Excel, this is also fine. So we can import data from Dealavo to Google Sheet, even make some really easy formulas, even ChatGPT or something can help you, and with Google Sheet, you can very easily import this to Google Merchant Center and have proper tags. And then your marketing team or marketing agency can know, okay, and it's easy. Product with tag profitable, promote. Product with semi-profitable, not so much. Unprofitable, don't promote. It's much easier than telling them, describing to them, if this parameter is between 5 and 7, then promote, or, communicate with tags and make these automations of the communication, because only then you can scale.
That's true. What are the most common problems that the companies make while analyzing the prices of competitors?
Hmm. I think that it's easy, really easy answer, but they don't have strategy what to do with this. Yes, so they say we want to monitor this and this and this, but when you ask them what they want to do further, they don't have any strategy, and they don't do anything with data. So I think the biggest mistake is to do nothing with the data.
Okay. Uh, okay. I understand. And how do you help businesses? Like, how does Dealavo help businesses to go from raw data to a pricing strategy? Is it an automated tool? You have like the dashboard where they can configure everything, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we have online app that you don't have to install anything, and in this app we provide you data about the price monitoring. But we have also different module for repricing where you can put your strategies. And in fact, as a head of product, my biggest challenge now is to educate people in the app how
Mm-hmm.
what to set, how what
Mm-hmm.
strategy to set, because it's like I see this as a calculator. Yeah, you give an engineer a calculator, an architect, and he will know what to do. But if you give some guy who is, I don't know, digging holes, I have nothing against those guys, but if you give them those calculators, they will not know what to do. And this is obvious because they don't have this education. And I think this is quite similar with dynamic pricing. If you give pricing manager a calculator like dynamic pricing tool, they will know what to do. They will set complex rules. This and this and this should be made, like I said, maybe 5 different steps of the strategy. But quite often, e-shops are managed by some specialists for the field from this category, and they are great experts. They are great experts out of this construction fields, electronics, and I cannot even discuss anything with them because they are such experts. But I understand that they are not experts in pricing. They are not experts in e-commerce because for the last 50 years they were selling this particular things, and they're really great in this, but they need some help and education in e-commerce in the pricing. So if I give them just a calculator, this is not solving their problems. They need some guidance. And for this, I created repricing AI. And to be honest, this AI is more marketing thing because 70-80% is made by my algorithms. So I do analysis of their portfolio. I see which products are traffic builders, which are complementary, and I'm just assigning proper products, so my algorithm, to proper rules. So we, out of 50k products, we find this 10k is traffic builder, it needs to be cheap. This is added products, it needs to be average price on the market, and this is long tail, maybe 70th percentile on the market. And
Mm-hmm.
what we do that is almost impossible for the humans to do is we do the validation. So after 30 days, we check if this assumption that this is traffic builder and this change in price increase the, in fact, total margin on the product or the traffic. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
if we failed, then we sign this and we once again try another strategy for this product, because if we assigned it to the traffic builder and the traffic didn't increase despite the lower price, then the assumption was wrong. And we are not afraid to say this and to make the cycles to verify. So it's something that for small owners, for owners of the small companies, it's almost impossible to do the strategy on their own analysis. And even for medium companies, it would be really, really hard to verify their strategies, mostly because people don't like making analysis.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay. Um, the future of the pricing in e-commerce. How do you see pricing strategies evolving over the next 5 years?
I thought that with AI it will be different, but I think this was similar assumption like with internet, when somebody said that, oh, when you will have all the knowledge of the world in one phone, everybody will be smart. Yeah, it didn't work. With AI, it didn't work. So of course, everybody can ask AI, can discuss something, but at the end of the day, I know they don't do this. So now I don't want to say that everybody can be pricing expert, but I think they can educate themselves well enough with all the books, all this, they can be guided by AI. I don't think that it really changes the pricing, in fact, because uh, you have to guide it really properly. Like probably if you made some analysis with AI, you know that you need a lot of context to provide to AI. It needs still some pricing data about your competitors. Then it will tell you that it's just a language model, so it cannot cooperate with you. So you tried some agents, feed them with some data. This file is like too big, so I cannot do this. It's getting still complex. Maybe in the future it will be easier, but people are not really eager to use it. So for some companies, of course, this is some breakthrough, and they can do on their own everything. They can even write with cloud code, agents, AI, some their own pricing tools. And this is what I read in on LinkedIn, that some SaaS companies are afraid that in the future everybody can make their own tools. I read some comment about, oh, I pay so much for HubSpot, now I will vibe code HubSpot in AI. It's like, nah, if you worked a bit with software, you know that maybe it's not so easy to make HubSpot with vibe coding, and it's the same with pricing, I think. So I'm not really afraid right now that people will take from us dynamic pricing. Maybe next step is that they will create their own tools for pricing, but they will not so easily take data from us. They will still need price monitoring data, and even more in the future, because they will be more and more people will be making such tools for the pricing. They will be guided by AI, but what they will be missing is information about the competitors' data and maybe some human guidance, like this consulting that we are making, how to do this. Because chat can give some general answers, but maybe it still should be guided. Of course, in 100 years, I will be jobless.
Okay, interesting perspective. Thank you for answering that. And the last one to wrap it up for this show, uh, from your perspective again, will dynamic pricing eventually become the standard for most of the online retailers?
It has to be, because with AI agents, yes, how people will be buying. Of course, there will be some people who still right now prefers to go to the brick and mortar store and buy there, but more and more people will be buying with agents, with chat GPT, 100.4 or something like this. And
Hmm.
it will take under consideration probably the quality of the store, but everybody will be able to maintain this because of other tools that will be working on your store. But
Hmm.
second factor will be price, and you will chat or agents won't be fooled with some fake discounts that, oh, you can buy here for more expensive price. No, it will be choosing good quality and the lowest price. It will be some biddings probably between the stores. So if you don't
Hmm.
have dynamic pricing, then you will be not gaining clients probably, because your price will be too high or it will be too low. Chat will be buying from you, or this AI things, and you will be
Hmm.
losing, yes, and you will be not earning as much as other guys who have this dynamic pricing. So your price will be 50, all the sales will go through you, but some other guys will be selling for 80, yes, and maybe they will have higher return, better cross sell. So I think it's the same as now, but it will be more in the bigger scale. So if somehow now you are managing without dynamic pricing, that's great for you, but be careful, because other guys are implementing dynamic pricing, and in the future it will be even more impacting.
Awesome. Amadeus, thank you so much. What I really appreciate about this conversation is how you basically reframe one of the biggest challenges in e-commerce, which is the pricing strategy, how important that is to basically be on top of things, do the analysis and all of that. Really great insights for anyone who is interested in learning more in Dealavo. I'll leave the link down below in the description, along with a link to Amadeusz profile, LinkedIn profile. If you want to reach out and talk about pricing, feel free to do so. Amadeusz, I do appreciate the conversation.
Thank you so much.